he was more or less the leader of the coup in Kaduna here only. But the general coup leader, former governor of Western Nigeria, late Adekunle Fajuyi, was their mentor, was their leader. But nobody knew because those people were not tried.
Hello and welcome to my channel. You see, finally the truth is out. IBB said it. Galma showed it. The 1966 coup was not an Igbo coup again. Here is a very strong proof. I'll play the video for you, but before I play the video, I need to say some things, some important things. Oh my God. Ndi Igbo deserves apology. Ndi Igbo deserves to be apologized to. Let's ride on into this video. I will show you video evidence, but let me do some talks. Now, on January 15th, 1966, Nigeria's first soldiers struck. You know, for 60 years, people called it an Igbo coup. But now, two senior northern, let's call them generals, they said, no, that is not true. IBB recently released a book. In that book, he said it was not an Igbo coup, but it was mispresented. Major Galma said it on national TV, which I'll play the video for you. Please be patient a little while. I'll play the video for you. So what really happened? And why did Lieutenant Colonel Fajuyi die with Ironsi? We are, they used to tell us it was a sacrifice. He said, Ironsi cannot be killed. Ironsi was visiting me. He cannot be killed. So he sacrificed for Ironsi. That was what we were told. But if you listen to Galma's story, it might be a different reason. Now let's put the whole story together. What happened on January 15, 1966? A group of young army majors moved in different cities. In the north, Major Chukwuma, Kaduna, Nzeogwu led the operation that is in Kaduna. They killed Prime Minister Tafawa Balewa, Ahmadu Bello and others. And in Lagos, the west, other majors also struck. 2 days later, Major General Johnson Ironsi took over power. The goal of the coup plotters, the goal they stated, was to end corruption and political instability. But the way it happened and who was killed created a big problem. Now, that is when the Igbo coup came into question. We are going to look at that claim versus the facts. Here is why people started calling it an Igbo coup. First reason is that most of the majors arrested after were Igbo. The second one is most of the senior leaders killed were northern or western. The third one is that Ironsi, who took over power, was Igbo. And Azikiwe was abroad. He was not killed. But here is what two insiders are now saying. The first one is General Ibrahim Babangida, IBB. In his book in 2025, he wrote, the coup was not planned by one ethnic group. Officers from different backgrounds were involved. Even Obasanjo has said this in the past. Now the second one is Major Bashir Shuaibu Galma. A retired, whether he retired as general, I don't know. But if he had remained in the army till the retirement time, he will be a general. Now, in a recent drtv interview, he said 3 things. 1, he said Nzeogwu led only the Kaduna part. Nzeogwu was leading the coup only in Kaduna. Nzeogwu was born and raised in the north. 2, Igbo military and political figures were also targeted. I'll play the video right now. Now, the third one, the coup was not about ethnicity. He also said it was not a revolution. Let's watch his video and we'll be right back.
Let's walk down the memory lane. Talking about the coup in 1966. Was the coup a revolution or simply a coup went wrong?
It wasn't any revolution, but they disguised it in the name of revolution. So when we're talking about all what you have been seeing in the book, they say Chukwuma Nzeogwu happened to be in Kaduna here. He was born in Kaduna here. He schooled in Kaduna here. Everything, he knows all these northern politicians. You get me? He was with the military intelligence before he was posted to the Nigerian military school now, which later on became NDA. He was an instructor. He was not only an instructor, he was a chief instructor under the command of one late Colonel Shodende, whom they killed that very night. They did their audition. They did the kill Sedona, they killed him too. So why I brought this matter is because you mentioned his name. He was more or less the leader of the coup in Kaduna here only. But the general coup leader, when we came to understand, after going through some of the accounts by some of them who participated seriously, especially in Lagos and other things, we came to understand the former governor of Western Nigeria, late Adekunle Fajuyi, was their mentor, was their leader. But nobody knew, because those people were not tried. If they had been tried by Ironsi, court martial, during the interrogation and so on, that so many facts would have come. But Ironsi, because fate had it that is why he's going to be removed, he refused to try those people. He allowed them to remain inside the prison. So to tell you who was the leader of that coup that time, as far as I'm concerned, as far as the account by Wole Ademoyega, while we struck his own book, he mentioned it. At that time, Adekunle Fajuyi was the commandant of the training depot in Abeokuta. They met with him so many times. He blessed them. He was going home during the Christmas for holidays. Whatever they are going to do, whatever advice they want, whatever, they should be very careful. They should not fail. But unfortunately, it's just history now that is revealing it. There are two groups. You understand me? One group that is interested in bringing out late Papa Chief Awolowo from the Calabar prison to come to be brought down to Lagos to be sworn as the leader of the revolution. You understand me? Then there was another one again, the other group, that is the Chukwuma group, Ifeanyi and others. They did not want to have this. But Wole Adeboyega, Victor Banjo, and maybe Fajuyi himself, this is their aim, to bring Awolowo. You understand what I'm saying? So it did not happen at such a time. But if that revolution had continued, it could have been the most disgraceful. It's already a disgrace, but you will find that all other groups will be fighting themselves, trying to say who is going to be this. Because in the account of Wole Ademoyega, he said a plane was dispatched to Enugu waiting for Awolowo to be brought so that he can be brought to Lagos to be sworn in at the DC. So you see this thing. But when we talk, we always say the Igbo groups and so on and so forth. Then maybe the Igbo too, they have somebody in mind. They want to do this. Up to now, it has not been revealed. They now decided that on the 15th of January 1966, they are going to do this thing, and then they targeted some people. They even targeted some senior Igbo officers who they thought they in fact, who seemed to be going against whatever plan they were going to do. They are not going to support them. So those days, that very day, they included them among the people they killed.
Now here is Galma's biggest claim. He said Fajuyi was a mentor. This is where it gets serious. Galma said Lieutenant Colonel Adekunle Fajuyi was the mentor. He was the insider. He was the leader in Lagos. So who is Fajuyi? He was the military governor of Western Nigeria in 1966. He later died in the name of protecting Ironsi in July. Here's Galma's argument based on the video you've watched. If there had been a public trial, the truth would have come out that Fajuyi was the mastermind. Here's an important note. This claim is not, it is not something that is supported by the mainstream historians like we already had what was being circulated. But the truth is coming out. He even made reference to the book by Adewale Ademoyega, Why We Struck. He made reference to that book. And I think some of you should read the book too. So Nzeogwu's own interviews blame incompetence in the South, not a senior mentor. But Galma is saying, because there was no trial, the public never got the full story. Here is Ironsi's mistake, and that is that no trial. Ironsi did not try those coup plotters who were arrested. He kept them in custody. So after the January 15th Ironsi's government arrested the coup plotters, but they were never tried in court. Galma calls this a mistake. His reason is that if Ironsi had tried them, so many facts would have come out. Names will come out. Plans, mentors, people who got involved will be mentioned. But because there was no trial, suspicion grew. In the north, many people believed the coup was targeted against them. That belief became very strong. So now let's get to July 29, 1966, why Fajuyi died. I know a lot of people have not discussed this in detail. You will only hear Fajuyi died trying to protect Ironsi. 6 months later, that was July 29, 1966, Northern soldiers launched a counter coup. They went to Government House, Ibadan, where Ironsi was a guest of Governor Fajuyi. So what happened there? Fajuyi refused, based on the reports we had, to hand over Ironsi. Both men were killed. That is what we had. But if we use Galma's lens, if you believe Fajuyi was the hidden mentor, then to those soldiers, he was not just a host. He was a target. So his death was both, if you follow Galma's lens, his death was both, could be referred to as a revenge and a removal. But if you use mainstream, what was circulated, because there was no trial, he died because he chose loyalty. That is what we had. He would not betray his guest, the head of state, Ironsi. Now, putting the whole story together, let's connect the dots in the 4 steps. Step 1, January 15 coup. Multi-ethnic officers, Nzeogwu in Kaduna, others in Lagos, Wale Ademoyega, and several of them, Obasanjo mentioned some of them, in Lagos West East. Now, step 2, no trial. Ironsi keeps them in prison, but no court case. Truth stays hidden. And that was why even those who, in the retaliatory coup, those who killed Ironsi, they went to prisons. They killed some of these coup plotters. They released them and killed them. Now in the step 3, the perception. The North sees it as targeted. Rumor says Fajuyi was mentor. Now step 4, July 29th counter coup, revenge. Ironsi and Fajuyi were killed. So was it a revolution? No. Was it a coup? Yes. Did it go wrong? Yes. Was it an Igbo coup? IBB says no. Galma says no. Why this matters today? This is not just about old history. How we describe January 15 shaped what happened after. The counter coup, the pogroms, and the civil war. Galma's interview and IBB's book are trying to change the frame. From ethnic coup to multi-ethnic coup that failed and triggered a chain reaction. You don't have to agree with everything Galma said, but you should know what he said and why he said it. So, I also advise you to read the book by Adewale Ademoyega, Why We Struck. More light would have been shed in that book. So I will leave you with this. If there had been a trial in 1966, would Nigeria's story be different today? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Be respectful, please. Please subscribe for more Nigerian history, broken down simply. See you in the next one.